Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. We are from the first group. Today, we are going to explain about our material. The material is about construction with adjective. Before that, we want to introduce our group member. My name is Andini Fadhilah Utari as a speaker 1 and my partner is Emma as a speaker 2. And we are from English Department 4A. In this change, I'm going to explain about great ability and adjective modifying nouns. Great ability is the semantic property that enables a word to participate in comparative constructs and to accept modifying expressions that act as intensifiers or diminishers. Gradable adjectives express properties in varying degrees of strength relative to a norm, either explicitly mentioned or implicitly supplied by the modified noun. This relativism in the interpretation of gradable words indicates that gradability is likely to be a good predictor of subjectivity. Most gradable words appear at least several times in a large corpus, either in forms inflected for degree or in the context of grading modifiers such as very. However, non-gradable words may also occasionally appear in such contexts or form under exceptional circumstances. To distinguish between truly gradable adjective and non-gradable adjective in this exceptional context, we have developed a trainable, an intelligent child. A gradable predicate such as intelligent in verse expresses a property that may be manifest to a greater or lesser degree and is thus compatible with modifiers or constructions that express varying degrees of the respective property, such as very and the comparative, respectively. In contrast, non-gradable predicates like those in second are either true of an individual or not, and such as cannot co-occur with degree modifiers, like very ambiguous in degree constructions such as the comparative. The comparative forms are in aspect of something in general. Many adjectives are gradable, which is to say that the language has ways of expressing different levels or degrees of the qualities that they denote. Examples are given in 2.18 with the relevant indicators of gradability in italics. The adjective in examples given in 2.18 are all members of antonym pairs. They denote region towards either end of scales. For instance, there is a scale of thickness with thick denoting values toward on one end, thin denoting values toward the other end, and a region in between that is neither thick or thin. Interestingly, there is frequently one member of each pair that signals bias regarding the answer if it is used in asking questions about position in the scale, whereas the other member of the pair is used in asking unbiased questions. And the second material is about adjective modifying nouns. How are nouns and adjective meaning put together when an adjective modifies a noun as in green cycle? Just enough will be said here to show that interesting issues arise in this area. Is a simple interpretation uh, in terms of the intersection of sets as depicted in figure 2.3 will work in some cases. In figure 2.3, the left-hand oval represents the set denoted by green, all the green entities that there could be. The right-hand oval represents the set of entities denoted by bicycles, all bicycles. The intersection of the two ovals encompass things that are included in both sets, things that are green and also bicycle. This is a satisfactory enough account of how these two meanings are put together. Adjectives that fit this scheme of interpretation are called intersective adjectives. Some adjectives are straightforwardly non-intersective. Former imaginary fact. Former champions are no longer denoted in an uncomplicated way by the word champion. A fact Stradivarius is not a Stradivarius. Lepin in 2001 gives a short overview of some proposals in form semantics for handling such case. Two further types of non-intersective modification will be mentioned here. One class arises from what can be called relative adjective. One can use 2.24 either to describe someone who is skilled at politicking, whether or not one approves of him as a person, or of someone who is good and happens to be a politician. The first meaning appears to rely on there being characteristic roles, that is, activities or functions for certain classes of people. A politician engaged in politics, an embroiders, a farmer farms, a plumber installs and repairs water system. Now, some adjective can be taken as qualifying the extent to which the characteristics role is carried out. There is an ambiguity if the same adjective could also be used to describe the nature of people as people. When the noun denotes something inanimate, then the only interpretation is likely to be the one in which its function is qualified by the adjective. For example, a good soul is one that is better than averagely sweet for souling. In addition, the most comprehensive study of Bollinger contrast to that is the recent monograph of Sinque. In that study, Sinque described 9 contrasts which are argued to form a syntactic natural class in English and in Italian. Each contrast can be described in terms of 3 general characteristics. First, a semantic dimension along which two truths conditionally distinct and interpretation exists. 2, a set of syntactic configuration, and 3 possible values of 1 for each specification of 2. Okay, I think that's all. The next material is about larger sets than pairs, and that material will be explained by Emma.
I will to be continuing about larger sets than pair. Based on theories that adjectives are a word that explain or describe a noun. In semantic pragmatics, learning this content that adjectives are a word that explain a noun that contain meaning. Most of adjectives discussed in the chapter have been one that compare joke. I point out that synonym is not restricted to pair. In chapter, another science relation that hold between the meaning of set of word that can be larger than pair will be introduced. It is called incompatibility. In advance of that discuss, it should be noted that some adjectives with apparently interesting interrelationship in meaning occur in a set of more than 2. For example, you see 2.25 black, purple, blue, brown, green, yellow, orange, red, pink, white, gray, circular, round, triangular, rectangular, previous, current, and next. If one is truthfully told that a particular rock is yellow, then it follows that it is not any of the other color. Listen, and he first said oak 2.25. Is it this blinding obvious? Is it not always true that if something is said to have one property, then it does not have other? No, that only holds within such set a yellow rock could perfectly will be triangular, and it could be the previous current or next specimen in a batch being examined by archaeologists.
Okay, I think that's all about our video presentation today. Sorry if we have many mistakes. We hope you understand about construction with adjective. Thanks for your attention. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.